Hi, it's Maya here. I hope you're all having a great weekend. Today I thought I'd do a bit of an update, a currently reading video, a late Friday reads if you will, and just show you what I've been up to reading-wise lately. So I've been buddy reading the Finishing School series by Gail Garriger with a couple of other booktubers, and I'm up to Curses and Conspiracies right now, which is the second book. I've only read like 2 chapters, and I think I'm a bit behind because I think we should be starting book 3 right about now. I did enjoy the first book, but not nearly as much as the Parasol Protectorate books. I love all the characters in the Parasol Protectorate more than I do in this. In this one, the girls are like 13 or 14 years old, the main characters, so they can be a bit tiring sometimes. But I still enjoy Carragher's writing style and her wit and the way that her characters talk, and all the little cameos from people that I already know from the previous series. I'm also buddy reading the second Split Worlds book, Any Other Name by Emma Newman, with Rachel from Kalanadi, who is currently at Worldcon. I hope she's having a great time. And so this is a bit of an on a pause while she's there, but I have read about 1/3 of the book and I really enjoyed it so far. This is a mix of fancy, of manners and urban fancy, with some of the story taking place in our world in the modern day and some of it taking place in this magical other world with sort of Regency or Victorian era Moors. And there are fairies and I really like them. It's sort of weird how much I love to read about these immoral fairies. I just find it so much fun. Like in Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, the gentleman was my favorite, even though he did horrible things. And in this one there's a fae called Lord Poppy who features a lot. And for some reason I just really love reading how the fae's mind works and what sort of cruel and unusual things they come up with. So I'm having fun with this one. I'm also reading Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. This is set in 1950s Paris and it features an American man who has sort of been hiding from himself and running away from the fact that he's gay all his life. In this book he meets the barman called Giovanni and he falls in love. I'm about halfway through and I really like the way that it is written. But my enthusiasm is a bit marred by the fact that this is a library book and I should have returned it already. So it's overdue and I'm halfway through and it's ridiculous because it's so short. I thought I would have finished it already, but I haven't. So I'm reading that. So like I said, I've been having a bit of trouble of reading Giovanni's Room. I'm also having trouble reading in general, because I'm having one of those phases where I sort of want to read everything, but I don't have the attention span to keep reading one book. So I just want to read everything right now, and I want to keep starting new books all the time, and then I just read a few chapters and can't get anything finished. So I sort of don't put the time into reading, even though I want to read everything. So I've just been playing No Man's Sky instead. So here's like the stack of books that's been calling my name all the time when I'm trying to read those. I have, of course, my reread of Fool's Fate, Mary Robinette Kowal short story collection, All You Need Is Kill, and the Welcome to Night Vale novel. I want to be reading all of these right now. And also in my infinite wisdom, I went and got a couple of books from Overdrive. So I got The Mirror Empire by Cameron Hurley and Valor and Vanity, the 4th Glamorous Histories book from Mary Robinette Kowal. I borrowed those and I can have them for like 2 weeks. I don't know why I borrowed them. I wanted to read them right now, but I have all this other stuff to read, so I don't know if I'll get to them, if I have the time to read them. I picked up The Mirror Empire by Cameron Hurley because I saw the Top 5 Wednesday first sentences topic, which was last week. I saw the first sentence of The Mirror Empire on Sara from Book Witch Sara. I hope I remembered that right. Book Witch's Cauldron. But anyway, on her blog, and I will link it down below. The first sentence was so good that I immediately went and borrowed it, even though I don't know if I'll have the time to read it. The first sentence in the prologue is: When Lilia was 4 years old, her mother filled a shallow dish with Lilia's blood and fed it to the boars that patrolled the thorn fence. I want to read this right now. Who knows if it's going to happen. I've also bought a couple of things. I bought The Curse of Chalion by Lois McMaster Bujold for my Kindle because it was $1.99 or something and I wanted to read it for so long, so now I have that. And I also picked up Nine Goblins by T. Kingfisher because I have read everything else from T. Kingfisher. She writes these great fairy tale retellings, and Nine Goblins is, I think, an original comic fairy tale. It's one of the first, if not the first, thing that she published as an ebook, so that's the only one that I haven't read. I have read everything else from her, and I really liked all of them, so I thought I'd pick the first one up as well. It's interesting to see if I like it as much as her later works, and also how much it differs by being comic fancy. Then I also picked up a couple of comic trades. I picked up Gem Volume 2 and Volume 3. Volume 2 is called Viral and Volume 3 is Dark Gem. I've been waiting for Dark Gem to come out so that I could pick both of these at the same time, because then I wouldn't be so disappointed when there isn't any Sophie Campbell's art in this one, because she's back for this. So I will get my Sophie Campbell dose after I read these. I think Sophie Campbell is actually finished with Gem and is going to focus on her own projects once more. I think she's doing the next volume of her series Wet Moon next, even though I'd really want the next volume of Shadow Eyes. But I'm really sad that she's now out of Gem. I really liked her art style on it, and I hope the next artist is as good as she is, even though I don't think that's possible. So anyway, that was my rambly update video. I hope your reading is going well. Do you ever get phases like this where you want to read everything, but also don't really focus and read anything? How do you deal with it? Let me know. But I hope this thing will sort itself out quite quickly. But anyway, I will see you all in my next video next week. Bye!